Okay, now that I have this nice 2-slide presentation ready to go, let's talk about how I can add some life to it through transitions and animations. So transitions are the way that one slide moves to another, and animations are the way elements on a slide move. Okay, so when I'm talking about the way that it goes from slide 1 to slide 2, I'm talking about a transition. If I'm talking about the way this title appears on my slide, I'm talking about an animation. And I have tabs for each of them right up here in the ribbon. So I'm going to go to transitions. And you can see that I've got a whole bunch of different options from simple to complex that I can do to transition my slide. So let's go ahead and choose something crazy. We'll do the honeycomb there. And this is going to be the way my first slide comes onto the presentation because I've selected that one. It's always the transition from before that slide. Now, I've got some options that I can see here. First of all, my effects options are grayed out because this one doesn't have any specific things like direction. Sometimes if you do, for example, a swipe, effect options will have things like top to bottom, left to right, how you want that to happen. Another option I have is my duration. How long does it take for that effect to happen? As you saw, that was kind of slow, and that's because it's taking 4.4 seconds to do it. I can adjust that here. Under sound, I can make it actually make a sound when it goes from one slide to the next. And right here, I can decide if I want it to advance when I click my mouse or if I want it to advance automatically after it's been on that slide for a certain amount of time. So I could say, after 5 seconds, go to the next slide. Here, I could say, I want you to apply all these settings to every slide in the presentation, and it would do that. So let's go to my next one, and let's say that we want this one to be a wipe, and we'll say that we want it to go from top right like so, and let's make it a little bit slower. There we go, and you can see it just wipes over to the side. So those are transitions. Now let's look at animations. I'm going to go to my first slide for that because I have a lot more elements here. Now first of all, I want this cool to be a part of this picture. I want them to stay together. So I'm going to do something called grouping them. I'm going to select her, and then I'm going to hold down Shift and select cool. So they're both selected. Hold down Shift. Now I'm going to come up here to Arrange, and I'm going to choose Group. When they're grouped, they now move together, they resize together, they're treated as one thing. If I ever want to undo that and make some changes, I can come up here, select it, and go to Arrange and ungroup it. So now that I've got that grouped, it's going to be a little easier for me to animate it. Now, let's start by animating my main title. So I've selected the My Amazing Presentation text box. I'm going to go up here to my Animations tab, and there are, I'm going to say 4. There's 3 main types of animation effects, then a 4th one that's kind of specialized that we'll talk about. The 3 main ones are entrance effects, emphasis effects, and exit effects. An entrance effect is the way that something comes onto the slide. So it's not there to begin with and it moves on in some way. An emphasis effect is something that it does while it's already on the slide, like for example doing a little wave or growing bigger, something like that. An exit effect is the way something leaves the slide. So the way that it's there and then it leaves. So let's start by putting an entrance effect on this My Amazing Presentation. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to drop down and I can see all these effects that I can do here. Let's go ahead and have this one drop on. You can see there they come dropping onto the slide. Now, that's pretty slow, but I can change that, as you'll see in just a minute. Now, let's go here and I'm going to select the You're Gonna Love It. Well, let's select the It's Gonna Blow Your Mind. And I'm going to have this one enter by, let's see here, let's have this fly in. But instead of flying in from the bottom, I'm going to have it fly in from the right. I'm just doing that with effect options. And then I'm going to select her, and I'm also going to have her, let's have her rise up from the bottom. Okay. So I've got 3 animations now, and they go in the order that I created them. Now, I want to have her rise up and this It'll Blow Your Mind come in at the exact same time. To do that, I'm going to go to reorder, right over here to the right, and I can see my 3 animations that I've already done. Here's my first one, my second one, and my third one. Now, down here at the bottom, I have effect options where I can have it play a sound or not dim, things like that. And I have timing. So with timing, I can say when it's going to happen. When I click my mouse, this is going to do it, and I want it to go very fast. My second animation happens when I click my mouse as well. I'm going to say that I want my third animation to happen with the previous animation, so they'll happen at the same time. I can also choose to happen after the previous animation, after a certain delay, put in 2 seconds after the animation to do it. But I want it to happen at the same time. Now that I've got them doing it at the same time, when I hit play, you'll see that's going to drop in faster, and then at the exact same time, my text is going to come at the top, and she's going to rise up. Now, they seem to go a little different because they're slower than each other, but I could play with the timing to have that look like it was coming more at the same time. But in fact, they were starting at the exact same time. So, now let's do an emphasis effect, okay? I'm going to have this, well, let's have this, It'll Blow Your Mind. I'm going to have it do a shimmer, and then after it shimmers, I'm going to have it leave. So let's have it shimmer, and then let's have it flip up. Flip out, there we go. So now what I'm going to do, go ahead and test that. This is going to drop in. The next 2 will happen together. Then it's going to shimmer and then drop away. So those are entrance effects, emphasis effects, exit effects. And again, I can take care of any of the ordering or any effects in this little reorder panel here. Now the last thing I want to do, I want to do something with this little You're Gonna Love It. So I'm going to select it, and I'm going to choose Motion Paths. This is where you can actually create a custom path for something. So I'm going to come over here, and I'm just going to say I want to draw a scribble. And I'm just going to draw a path for that to take right back to its original location. And you'll see it follows my path. Now I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to tell it that I want that to happen slower. And I'm going to just select it and move it up in the order so it happens at along with these 2. Actually, let's move it down and have it happen with that shimmer. And I'm going to say to do it with the previous animation. So all my organizing and timing is going to be in here. Now if I hit play, that drops in. That slides in and comes up. And then this little guy goes for a ride. And then that drops out. So that's transitions and animations. Again, lots of fun. You can do some great stuff with it. You got to be a little careful with it. You don't want it to take away from your presentation. Again, remember the point of your presentation is to communicate a message. But if you can use the animations or transitions to help to keep your presentation exciting or to make certain points more clear in your presentation, then all the better.